Hi, beautiful community. Welcome back to another beautiful episode of Create Your Joy with my beautiful Shruti, which she is a self-love and empowerment coach. And myself, I am a mindset coach and a purpose coach. And I am so happy to see you all here. And I hope you like this episode because this is one of my favorite songs ever. And I can't wait to, go over with Shruti on this song. And I hope you guys share your thoughts with us and let us know what you think. And if you like this episode or the other episode that we've been doing, please give us a like and follow. And if you have other friends or family that would enjoy these podcasts or will help them in sort of a way, please share it with them. Thank you. Hi, Shruti. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing well. I'm excited to dive into this song with you, Ivania.
Yes.
I confess I had never heard of this song, and I just have to say that the way it starts in the beginning, I think so many people are going to find their emotions mirrored in these words.
Oh, I love what you said already.
Yeah,
I
I can't
love
wait.
that. I love it. So let's just jump into the song. That song is called You Say, and the singer is Lauren Daigle, or something like that. Sorry if I mispronounced her last name. So it is just a beautiful song. So this song, actually, let me give a little bit story, because my sister, one of my older sisters, sent it to me maybe 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And when I heard it, I started to cry. That's why when you said it's like a mirror on your feelings, you hit right in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I just started to cry and I just didn't know why I was feeling all this emotion for the song. And it made me actually sad, and it made me reflect because if my sister sent it to me, so I felt that she was going through this, and whatever, how I'm gonna, once we start sharing the song, then you understand that when I would say everyone goes through this, but when someone is in that process, it is painful to see one of your loved ones going through that. So just wanted to give a little content on the song that I really, really love. So that first verse says, I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I am not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. And I go, oh my God, this, to me, I can feel the pain. I can feel how lost, that person could be, or we could be when we're going through this process. And first of all, you wouldn't say, I keep fighting voices in my mind that I said I'm not enough. I think those are the voices that comes from many places. One, it could be from your parents, your teachers, your friends, your partners, your haters, anyone that doesn't really know who you are, or that they want to hurt you in some way. So we have self-doubt on ourselves already with all of that knowing that belief is not our belief, but we've been programmed. And let's not forget society as well to add into that. And it says, every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. And then here, when she says every single lie, so I think always here, it starts to start the conversation within herself now, because now she starts to understand that it's a lie that everyone is telling her, that she will never measure up.
Yeah.
Am I more than just a sum of every high or every low? When I hear this, she's asking the higher self, the wisdom voice that you call it. And I call it the higher self, which is, I would say, how you connect it to your God or the universe, whatever you might want to use, but something, the higher than anyone. And it started to asking, am I just this? Am I just getting like high? Not, I don't see high as in drugs, but I say high like different emotions, like for the strings, either to a stream or not stream at all.
Right.
So, and also it says, remind me once again, just who am I? Because I need to know. And also it starts asking, who am I? And I think this is such an important question that we continue over and over and over asking ourselves, who am I? And it never ends, to tell you the truth, because there's so much that we don't know of ourselves that we'll be evolving to. But I do wanted to say that who we are is not our name. Who we are, it's not our work, what we do for a living. Who we are, it's not this physical body. We are more than that. It is so much more that we're not able to identify with words, but we're able to feel it inside. And we are that bright light. We are that soul that we use this body in order to experience this beautiful, wonderful life and the opportunity that it has given us to be here. And I love that when she asking that, because you start opening the door and asking, who am I really? So what do you think about that? I mean, I can just go on, Shruti, but I want to hear your thoughts on this.
That was beautifully articulated, Ivania. And just when you were saying about, how we know so little about who we are, I had a little wave go through my own heart when you said that. And it reminded me how much my own viewpoint changed when I did my own inner work. And in my case, it was about reclaiming my humanity. And so many of us actually go around treating ourselves like human doings, which is that we do activities in our world, but we're not connected to ourselves or one another in any meaningful way, where we can feel the pain, but also the joys of compassion. Many of us have a heart that's walled off due to fear. And I think until we begin to confront that fear, and when that fear comes up, is perfectly summarized in this first line, this fight of the voices in your mind. And one of the most powerful images that I've ever seen of this, I have to take us back to the iconic Star Wars scene, which has Luke Skywalker going into this cave, and he's supposed to confront his worst enemy. And it turns out that, in this case, the worst enemy is ultimately him. He's afraid that he is exactly like who his father is, which is Darth Vader, and who was once a great Jedi. And just to say that, we have such a power to be both our worst enemy, but also to be our best friend. And it is the work of a lifetime, like you said, to go from being your worst enemy to the path, to choosing the path to become your best friend. So this song really speaks on a very deep level to me as well. And that line that just says whether I'm just the sum of every high and low emotion that I face, because we well know when we're experiencing euphoria, something really positive, or when we're in the deepest, darkest depression over something circumstantial, over a situation, it can feel like it lasts forever. And yet, like you were saying, we are so much more than that. We can barely describe it in words, but we can feel it with our heart. And especially when our mind and heart are coherent, we can do that. So I just want to bring us to our chorus here and say, the woman continues and says, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. And it's unclear who she's referring to when she says you say. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, Oh, you say I'm yours, and I believe. Oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Wow.
Oh, it's just so beautiful how you see um, this person responding to another person's words. And I have two different interpretations here. One is that it could be someone who genuinely loves her, that is reflecting these truths to her in that moment, that is mirroring those truths to her. But also, if she has begun the process, like you were saying, of going inward, then the you is actually the capital U, some part within herself, the wise self, or another, kind of part of her that is speaking, her conscience, speaking a little bit louder than the voice of the inner critic that constantly drowns everything else out when you're in the midst of a crisis. So to be able to, kind of say that initially, yeah, I can't feel a thing, yet you're saying that I'm loved. I feel weak, but you're telling me that I'm strong. I'm feeling short, yet you say I'm held in this moment. And I don't feel like I belong, but you say that I'm yours. And I just experience this as such a powerful, kind of contrast that someone is giving her faith in a moment when she's not able to find it herself, and that eventually it wins over and she says, I believe. Oh my goodness, I believe what you say of me. And to have that transformation in that moment of crisis. And we have actually spoken of this before, where sometimes we wonder why crises come into our lives. And we know that there is a deep space of growth that comes from the belly of that crisis. So it's when you go deep within that crisis that you're actually able to access some deeper part of your strength that up until then had been dormant. It had just been lying asleep. So in a way, these crises are a way to unlock some deeper power within us. And we see that in this song with the chorus. What do you think, Ivania, about the chorus?
It's just amazing because like the way I'm looking at it is that it's questioning, why do I feel this way? So it's like having like a victim mentality, like why me? Why am I feeling this way? Why are you saying this to me? Why, if I feel weak, why are you telling I'm strong? Or why do you think that I'm falling short? Like what? Like, she's like, so let me go back and say, you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, you say I'm yours. So I see it like it's a breaking down, in that process when it is so painful. Like when you're about to make that transition, when you make that transition, it's very painful. Like literally you one step away of reaching your peace of mind. But like you said, sometimes we have to go through this in order for us to move, to evolve, in order for us to go to the next chapter. And I feel like in this section, she's breaking down. She's totally lost it.
Yeah.
And then she's asking the higher self, you're telling me I'm this, you're telling me I'm strong and I feel weak. And I think the conversation that is having it is like the physical body is the one that is breaking down, not you, not the energy, not your soul. It is the physical body that is very painful to feel it. And I really love this because, if you read, can you read the next two, the next two sentence?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you, I find my worth. In you, I find my identity.
Mm-hmm. So I wanted you to read this because, it brings us to surrender.
Yeah.
And one thing I do want to say the word about surrender is that it has, I don't know, and what's your opinion on this, but to me, the word surrender, the way I had experienced, had a bad connotation.
Mm,
Because when you say, when the first thing that comes into my mind is like movies when the police come into your home, they knock on your door and say surrender, right?
yeah.
So that means you have to give everything up. But if I'm looking at the surrender in a different way now because of my studies and because of my inner work that I've been
Mm,
doing for a long time. So to me, surrender it means not going against of what is,
mm,
not opposing yourself and I don't want this, I don't want this. It's a negative. Like I don't want it without wanting to know the purpose. So to me, surrender is looking at it, look what's happening. So
mm.
you'll be able to move forward so you can make the right decision. So you can see things clearly.
Wow.
It's like stopping pushing away that energy, but more or less look at it closer, what
Yeah.
we can do.
Wow.
And that's why when it says, and I believe, oh, I believe. So it started to, because she started to surrender, going inward. It started to align her body, her mind, and her soul.
Right.
That's why she started says, and the only thing that matters, like you said,
Yeah.
now is everything I think of me. So she had removed all those limited beliefs about herself. She
Right.
had removed all those voices that did not belong to her, that it might have belonged from, like we talked about, for like the parents, the teachers, or the caregivers with the kids, or the
Yeah.
partners, or the society. It's more that what matters to me, it's my own opinion. What matters to me, what I think about me. And it says, and you find, and sorry, say, in you, I find my worth. In you, I find my identity. So I think she grabbed herself into her identity.
Yeah.
Nobody else's identity but
Yeah.
her own. And she finds her worth on herself
Yeah.
because she knows who she is. And that was so beautiful. What do you think about that or that word?
Oh,
That
yeah. Oh my gosh. I think first of all, I love the way you analyzed this part of the song. And you're absolutely right. That conversation and her realization and going inward is so beautiful to witness, especially in these last two lines about the fact that the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. And when I think of the word surrender, what comes to my mind is actually just um, just the word grace. The grace to accept what is rather than to
yes,
continue denying its existence. So yeah, it's common to think of it as just I give up, and just sitting with your hands on top of one another and not doing anything. But rather, I experience surrender as the grace even to pause, because that's something that happens is when you're in the midst of a crisis, there is such an internal pressure to keep doing something, even if it's not working, you know, and sometimes the most important thing that you can do when the pressure is to do something is actually to take a pause, create some mental bandwidth and space for you to, just like you were saying, examine what's going on and choose a response rather than reacting to the situation from an automatic reflex that has been placed inside you by your previous experiences or your subconscious mind. And so, in that context, I really loved how you talked about this. And yeah, I feel tears coming to my eyes looking at this line that says, "In you, I find my worth." You know, and the idea that from my standpoint, even if she's talking about someone that really loves her and they're saying all these things to her, even if that person is on the outside, better to find your worth with someone that sees the beauty in you, as opposed to someone that will go against you,
Yes.
because there are plenty of those people out there that will pretend to be friendly but do things differently behind your back. But if you have a true friend, then sure, it is good to find someone from whom you can take comfort, but also, draw a more accurate picture of who you are being. And of course, the most highest form of that is if you have made friends with yourself, because that is the purest place to find your worth. And like you were saying earlier, I just wanted to connect this concept, is that ultimately we find that our worth is not to be found in our work, our riches, our accomplishments. None of those things can ever define our self-worth. And truly, the only thing that can define that self-worth is, first of all, how much respect and love we have for ourselves and how deeply we have been able to access that in our life. So, again, I just am blown away by this song, and I just want to thank you for bringing it into my life, adding it to my playlist. And I just wanted to pause here and also encourage our audience to, take a look at our previous episodes, take a look at these inspiring songs that we have been diving into and sharing with you. And really, we are existing in tough times right now in our own world, wherever we may be. And when those tough times arise, you can find solace and strength and get a valuable reminder of who you truly are, if you choose one of these songs to play, to think about the words and sing along. So coming back to the chorus here again, it says, "You say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak." And it goes on as I did before. "When I don't belong, you say I'm yours. And I believe. Oh, I believe. What you say of me, I believe." And again, our running theme has been that the chorus is the most important part of the song in each of these songs, because it's meant to really tell you what the work is that you have to do.
Yes.
And I just think it's outlined beautifully that, even when you're in the thick of a strong emotion, that emotion is ephemeral. That emotion is not going to last forever. You will move through it. And the part of surrender here is to have the grace to allow that emotion to move through you.
Yes.
Let that feeling of not being able to feel a thing pass through you. Let this feeling of weakness come and leave. Because when you do that, then you come to the other side of it, which has the strength, which has the feeling of being loved, which has the feeling of being held and feeling of belonging. So I just find such beauty in this. And I'll see if I can read the next sentence right after that chorus. "Taking all I have, and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory." And wow, I mean, this is that surrender that you were talking about, to be able to say and, substitute the word God for whatever higher power or the universe or the source of all things that you believe in. And say that just like the failure isn't yours, the victory isn't yours either. Those are just two flips of a coin, and in a moment, one can come up failure or victory at any point of time. What is important is the journey itself. That's what I get from these lines. And I'm bringing it back to you, Ivania, because I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
No, you said it really beautiful when it says that, it's the journey that matters. When I hear this, I usually like to sing this song, but like I'm not a great singer. I mean, I wish I would have like the voice of Celine Dion or Whitney Houston to be able to sing this. But I like when I sing this, there like my voice break down because it's so deep in me.
Yeah.
Because to me, when it says, take all I have, and now I'm laying at your feet, you have every failure, God. You have every victory. And here, I feel it so deeply in me is because we're not taking anything when we die,
Yeah.
meaning physically,
Yeah.
the victories, the failures, we're not bringing those. What I believe, we bring in the process
Mm.
that we went through and how we face those challenges. That's what we bring in with us. And a sense of coming on this earth and experience as much as you can and try to do good as much as you can.
Mm.
And the rest, it doesn't really matter because you're not taking them. And it's more like attachment. I look at it as of attachment. If you have an attachment, then that attachment is controlling you.
Right.
If you don't have that attachment, it doesn't control you. So to me, it's more like a bigger surrender. Like, yes, I understand. And yes, I can have this communication within myself. I know my self-worth. No one needs to validate that for me.
Yeah.
And when I hear this song, I always go back and think of my sister.
Oh.
And you know, I guess when she sent it to me, or when she first time heard it, that she identified herself with the song, you know, it was like a bond, like a connection. And at the same time, now you and I have this bond, this connection with the song. And now our audience is going to have this bond, this connection, because we're able to see that everyone feels like this at some point.
Exactly.
But you'll be able to see that nothing lasts.
Yeah.
Like you say, you allow yourself with grace to go all those painful emotions go through you because it will leave your body.
Yeah.
And you will see how strong you are,
Yeah.
how lovable you are.
Beautiful.
And I just love this song so much. And every time I hear it, I sing it, even though I don't do the tones correctly, but I sing it anyways.
We'll have to sing it together afterwards. And I was just gonna say that this song, right from the beginning, I think one line that will stay with me is just that person beginning to realize that it is a lie, every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. To
Yeah.
me, that's the sign of a person that is on the path to doing their inner work. So that, they're still fighting those voices, but they're ready. They're ready. And by the end of the song, oh my God, she is surrendering
Yes.
and finding that grace to say, victory or failure, it's all yours. And it's so true. We're only here temporarily. And everything that we have, we own nothing. We don't even own our own breath, if you think about it. We don't even have breath in the moment that we leave this earth.
Yes.
And yet what we leave behind is the treasures of the love that we have shared with the people in our life.
Yes.
It's the impression that is left on the minds and hearts of the people who have interacted with us. And if we have done our inner work right, one thing that I just want to say is when we're first able to love ourselves, we are then and only then able to share love rather than pain with others.
Yes. Yes. Yes, 100%. 100%. I agree with you because I think if you learn how to love yourself, then you understand how to love somebody else. And then the thing is, when they say love yourself first, that means that you're not loving yourself first all the time. At the same time, you're loving others, because it's automatically they're working both together.
Exactly.
But the more you understand yourself, then you understand the other person.
Exactly.
And give the other person grace, because you're giving yourself grace.
Exactly.
Because we're not perfect in any way.
Absolutely. And I think that's our shared humanity, in that we were never meant to be perfect. This pressure to be perfect is something from the outside. It's the tool of the ego. It's the
Yes.
tool of our inner critic to put this measuring stick of perfection into the mix to cause confusion. But when we're able to let go the need to be perfect and see the beauty and joy and love in imperfection, that's when we begin to just look at one another as human beings and just be in sheer awe of the uniqueness, of the beauty, of the talents that the other person has and that you yourself have. And it's the path forward for us as human beings. I think it is our evolution as human beings, is to move towards that way of being. And again, I just want to say that it is our joy to bring this podcast to you every week. And I don't know, Ivania, if there's any other parting words you want to say as we end our podcast for today.
One thing that I want to leave the audience with is that always remember that you are home and that you are everything to you. And think beyond of this physical body. Use this physical body to do good for others and of course for yourself. Because if you do good for yourself, that's what you're going to share. And I said thank you everyone for tuning in. And I should to say we're doing this podcast because we love to create joy and we like to share these amazing songs that in some way it has helped us to move forward in life. Thank you.
Thank you.
And come back for the next episode, because we're gonna have more. And if there's any song that you guys want us to dissect, let us know, and we were very happy to do that. Thank you so much, and continue creating your joy.
Wonderful.
Bye.